I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a buck and say that Zack Snyder's Justice League looks like it's going to be fucking awesome, especially now that it's trending. This new information is extremely interesting. There's supposed to be a new Superman movie in the works by J.J. Abrams, and Henry Cavill is actually signing up so he can cameo in other heroes' movies leading up to that Superman movie. And on top of that, Ben Affleck is supposed to come back as Batman after hanging up his cowl for less than a year. So what is going on? What does this mean? And what does this mean for Robert Pattinson's Batman? What does it mean for the DCEU? So let me start with the last one. Robert Pattinson's Batman, I think, is going to be set in a universe similar to the Joker, where they're not attached to the DCEU, almost like a spin-off story, which I like. I like this sort of different universes, different takes on DC properties, but they're all kind of very similar and the same, but at the same time they aren't connected until we need them to be connected in the future. Maybe we get two Jokers, two Batmans, things like that. That would be really cool, something that we only see in cartoons and we don't really get to see it in movies, and that would make DC unique, where we get double of each character in a multiverse sort of scenario that we didn't get in Marvel yet. So DC would be ahead of the curve in this instant. Ben Affleck as Batman, I loved Ben Affleck as Batman in Batman vs Superman, and in Justice League he had one or two moments, but for the most part he was completely misused and tone deaf in the movie. He was exactly what you don't want him to be, and that is completely powerless compared to everybody else around him, and a complete and utter joke. So I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I think he did a great job in Batman vs Superman, and I'm hoping that if he does come back, he will bring that same energy and intensity for that. And probably the reason they're bringing him back is because they are remaking Justice League, which brings us to Henry Cavill. So Henry Cavill, in my opinion, has been the best casting in this DCEU universe. I love Man of Steel. I loved him in Batman vs Superman, even though he was a little bit intense, and even in Justice League at the end where he was a little bit lighthearted. It's kind of hard not to like Henry Cavill as Superman. So him having cameos in different movies is 100% fine with me, but I don't think that that should be the extent of it. I think that these movies, his cameos, are going to be building up to his own movie, and we're going to get a new Man of Steel 2 or whatever it's going to be called in the near future. And to me, that's a great stepping stone into maybe a brand new Justice League, or actually, you know what, let's get Green Lantern, let's get all these other characters situated first before we go in that direction. All of this is predicated on the fact of whether the new Justice League, the Snyder Cut, is going to do good or not on HBO Max, because if it flops even harder than Justice League, then I don't think they're going to be pulling the trigger on all these projects. But if it doesn't flop and they use this as a jumping off point, then they could have a viable universe on their hands, because they have been coming out with bangers since the flop that was Justice League. Aquaman was good, Wonder Woman was good, the second Wonder Woman looks pretty interesting, and Harley Quinn was amazing, Shazam was awesome. So all these different movies have come from the dark ages of DCEU and are really, really interesting. So I hope to see that level of quality in future movies as well. And some are saying if the Snyder Cut does extremely well, if it is much better than the original version with much better storylines, then they are going to completely retcon the original Justice League, and to me that's completely fine. I already hate the original Justice League, and I only watched it the one time to know that I completely can't stand it. So that one is, to me, a completely terrible movie, and if you're gonna retcon that one, you might as well just retcon Suicide Squad as well. That way we get a brand new Joker. Now, J.J. Abrams making a Superman movie, I am completely torn on. I actually like J.J. Abrams, the majority of his work, Star Trek, The Force Awakens, other things that he's been in, but unfortunately the huge miss that was Rise of Skywalker completely makes me think that he is incompetent when it comes to his future projects, because it was so bad, it was so low, and it's just degraded with time and gotten worse, that I think that he may not be the best man for the job. Hopefully they don't shift directors. Honestly, I would like to see Zack Snyder come back and make a second Superman movie, but I'm about to give J.J. Abrams the benefit of the doubt that he was just not on his A game with Rise of Skywalker, and just look at his earlier work, especially with Star Trek, and hopefully he makes a good Superman movie. This is Sunscape signing off. Take care, guys.